Welcome to the True Tomorrows podcast. Get ready for another cool weekly science fiction probe into, some wild galactic tales from the world of flash fiction. Think like blockbuster sci-fi films or best-selling epic short stories, all, condensed into these like fascinating little nuggets. Rate and follow for more captivating True Tomorrows.
This week we're doing a science fiction probe into two really different flash fiction stories.
Okay.
And they both look at how, those familiar human dynamics that we all know play out in these like really imaginative futuristic settings.
Right.
We've got Pride and Prejudice in space, which, takes those classic themes and puts them on a space station.
Yeah.
And we've got Space Pirates, which is, like a cosmic take on this legendary like tale of rebellion.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So our mission today is to like really unpack these narratives, get to what makes them tick, the world building, the characters, the insights they offer.
So let's jump right into Pride and Prejudice in space. What kind of world are we stepping into with this story?
So this one drops us right onto New Pemberley, which is a space station with a huge emphasis on social division.
Okay.
So you've got this really visually contrasting setup.
Okay.
A glittering upper level that's home to like the cybernetically enhanced elite.
Ah. Okay.
And then you've got like the natural commons. These are the folks who chose to remain, unaltered. And they live in what's described as the station's underbelly.
Oh, wow.
So you've got that physical separation right away.
Yeah.
And it tells you a lot about, how society is structured and the values at play. It's not just where you live. It's, it's who you are, or rather who you've chosen to become through technology.
Yeah. It's like a really interesting setup for some, social commentary.
For sure.
And into this world walks our Elizabeth Bennet. What's her initial take on this augmented aristocracy she encounters at this grand ball?
Well, Elizabeth is, she's presented as this very sharp, observant, and importantly unaltered woman.
Okay.
And she's right in the middle of this spectacle of enhanced individuals.
Right.
The story points out her mix of fascination and disdain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think really sums up, she's clearly an outsider looking in,
Right.
intrigued by the tech, but also critical of what it seems to represent in terms of, social standing, maybe even superficiality.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what does it even mean to be elite in a future where, you can change your own biology?
It's a good question. That fascination and disdain, like you said, that's key.
Yeah.
There's a great moment early on with her sister Jane.
Oh, yeah.
What do they notice about one of these augmented guests, General Talbot?
So Jane, she's quite taken with General Talbot. There's this rumor that his enhancements let him see through walls. It's presented as, almost like a superpower.
Right.
But Elizabeth, she has a much more, grounded and insightful reaction.
Okay.
She says, and yet, I wager he still cannot see what is most important.
Oh.
And that line, I think, so beautifully establishes her core values and her skepticism about relying on enhancements or true understanding or wisdom.
Yeah.
What's so fascinating here is how quickly the story contrasts these two perspectives on what really matters.
It does. It sets up that central tension right away.
For sure.
And then, of course, we have the entrance of Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy.
Of course.
What's the initial impression he makes?
So Darcy is introduced as this almost larger-than-life figure.
Okay.
Aloof, authoritative,
Yeah.
subtly enhanced. He owns like half the trading routes in the sector.
Wow.
Which immediately says, power,
Yeah,
influence.
right.
Unsurprisingly, he's considered the most eligible bachelor.
Of course.
Elizabeth's first impression is, it's colored by this air of detachment.
Yeah.
There's this brief moment of eye contact, followed by what she interprets as a dismissive gesture.
Okay.
It's that classic setup for their initial conflict based on these surface readings.
Right. Right. Which naturally leads to one of Elizabeth's wonderfully dry remarks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Her comment about Darcy finding the company beneath him, it's pure Elizabeth Bennet.
Yeah.
Witty, pointed.
Yeah.
It shows her willingness to, judge him just as quickly as she feels judged by him.
Yeah.
This raises a really interesting point about how, our own biases can shape those first impressions.
Right.
and lead to misunderstandings.
Yeah, definitely. Then we have a bit of a disruption with the arrival of Mr. George Wickham.
Right.
What role does he play in setting up this initial conflict between Elizabeth and Darcy?
So Wickham, who's presented as, charming, personable, he interrupts their observations. And Jane, ever the optimist, accepts his offer to dance,
Okay.
which kind of inadvertently leaves Elizabeth alone.
Right.
And it sets the stage for her first, direct interaction with Darcy.
Oh, okay.
It's a clever way to isolate them and force a confrontation,
Yeah,
even if it starts subtly.
it does. That first conversation between Elizabeth and Darcy is it's so crucial.
Yes.
What are the main points of their exchange, and what underlying tensions do they kind of reveal?
It really gets to the heart of, the story's themes about societal values.
No. Yeah.
Elizabeth, she directly challenges that whole notion that, enhancements equal worth. She argues that character is more important.
Right.
Darcy, in turn, questions, the value of those who chose to remain unenhanced in this futuristic society.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's, her firm defense of authenticity is a powerful statement. And what's fascinating is that even with this, clash of ideologies, there's a hint of something else there.
Yeah.
A spark of intellectual curiosity, or even a subtle connection. They both seem to register it, however, unwillingly.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there. But the elegance of the ball is shattered by this sudden jarring event.
Right.
What happens to disrupt this initial dance of societal maneuvering?
Yeah, the party takes a dark turn with a sudden scream.
Okay.
They discover a dead man, and what's significant is that his augmentations are like flickering,
Oh.
which immediately suggests, foul play, sabotage, not just malfunction.
Great.
This sudden shift from, celebration to chaos, it underscores a key insight here.
Okay.
Even in these seemingly advanced societies, you've got these underlying tensions and vulnerabilities that can just shatter this facade of order in an instant.
Yeah, wow.
It makes you think, how reliant are we on the stability of our, our systems,
Right.
both tech and social?
Right.
And importantly, Elizabeth realizes this wasn't an accident.
Okay.
And it sets her on this path to uncover the truth.
She's not one to back down from a challenge, so she takes it upon herself to investigate this death. Where does her pursuit of the truth lead her in this space station?
It takes her down into these like labyrinthine corridors and this grimy reality of the station's underbelly.
Okay.
Which is, stark contrast to the opulence of the upper levels.
Right.
She seeks out Mr. Bennet, a family friend and tech genius,
Okay.
hoping he can give her some information about, illegal augmentations
Right.
and the shadowy network that's distributing them. Her concern for Lydia and Wickham's potential involvement adds this like personal urgency to her inquiries.
Oh, wow.
It's interesting how the story uses this physical descent to
Yeah.
mirror her descent into these, darker aspects of this seemingly advanced society.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, Mr. Bennet knows the dangers involved, right?
He does.
And he gives her a warning.
He explicitly cautions her, about the risks of getting mixed up in this illicit world. It emphasizes Elizabeth's courage, maybe even a little recklessness
Yeah.
in her pursuit of justice. It also highlights the danger of, a society where advanced tech can be used for criminal ends.
Absolutely. And what does Elizabeth uncover as she's navigating this shadowy underworld of New Pemberley?
So she learns about, these clandestine meetings,
Okay.
unexplained disappearances. It's all the hallmarks of a thriving, black market,
Right.
operating right under the nose of this station. It's like, you take a classic noir detective story and drop it into a sci-fi setting.
Oh, wow.
It reveals these dark undercurrents that can exist, even in, technologically advanced societies.
Yeah. This is where Elizabeth makes a somewhat unexpected move. So realizing she needs more resources, who does she reluctantly decide to seek out for assistance?
Yeah, she knows, her own connections are limited in this world.
Right.
She makes this, difficult decision to approach Mr. Darcy.
Okay.
She finds him in his private office, which is described as, sleek and modern.
Okay.
A real contrast to the grimy environments she's been navigating. It underscores that vast difference in their social standing and their access to resources.
Yeah. So what's her strategy in asking for his help? Does she appeal to his, sense of duty or?
She lays out her findings, and she asks directly for his help. But she also appeals to something deeper, suggesting he could be more than just his cold exterior suggests.
Oh, okay.
She's basically challenging him to use his power for good,
Right.
to look beyond his own privileged world. What do you think motivates her to approach him?
Oh, I think it shows her pragmatism.
Right.
And her ability to see, potential in people, even though she initially dislikes. She sees his power, his influence.
Yeah.
And her priority is uncovering the truth, even if it means working with someone she, clashes with.
That's a great point.
So what's Darcy's initial reaction to her plea?
He's hesitant, questioning her motives.
Okay.
And the danger, the inherent danger she's in. But eventually he agrees to help on the condition that, she follows his instructions.
Okay.
This sets up a dynamic of collaboration, although, Darcy's still in control at first.
Right.
It's interesting to see how their power dynamics starts to shift as they work together.
Yeah, definitely. So what does their, what does their joint investigation look like? How do they go about, uncovering the truth?
They go deeper into this clandestine world.
Okay.
They're attending secret meetings.
Yeah.
They encounter, shady characters, hackers, smugglers.
Right.
It's during this time that Elizabeth starts to see a different side of Darcy. She sees his intelligence, his, surprising resourcefulness in this underworld.
Yeah.
And those glimpses of compassion that she maybe only hoped were there. It's, it's classic. Those adversarial characters, finding common ground.
Right.
Through shared experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Their investigation leads them to a pretty significant and maybe embarrassing discovery for Darcy.
It does. They uncover the truth that Darcy's own company, unknowingly, was funding this criminal network.
Oh, wow.
And this hits Darcy hard, feelings of guilt, responsibility to fix it.
Yeah.
It adds this, layer of complexity to his character. He's not just the aloof, powerful elite.
Right.
He's someone capable of acknowledging and addressing his own role in the station's problem.
Absolutely. And as they get closer to the truth, things get more dangerous,
Okay.
right? So what happens during their efforts to uncover, company records?
They are ambushed by these cybernetic assassins.
Okay.
And it leads to this brutal, intense fight. This scene really highlights, the contrast in their fighting styles.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, she relies on her quick wit and agility.
Yeah.
Well, Darcy, he uses his augmented precision, his strength.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thrilling sequence. Really underscores the high stakes.
Yeah, definitely. There's this powerful image of them fighting back to back.
Yes.
What does that moment signify in their, evolving relationship?
It's pivotal. This fragile but significant bond forms between them. They are literally trusting each other with their lives.
Right.
They're, transcending those initial prejudices and the huge social gulf between them.
Yeah.
It shows that, shared adversity can really forge unexpected connections.
It's a great visual. And after this close call, they have a more, personal conversation.
Yeah.
So what do they reveal to each other in this moment of vulnerability?
Darcy opens up about his background.
Okay.
The pressures of his position.
Right.
Maybe even the loneliness.
Yep.
Elizabeth admits that, maybe she was too quick to judge him.
Okay.
Darcy even remarks that Elizabeth challenges his worldview.
Oh, wow.
Highlighting her impact on him. It's a moment of, genuine connection, mutual respect.
That's huge. But this growing understanding is interrupted by more, critical information.
Yes.
What does Mr. Bennet discover that raises the stakes even higher?
He sends an urgent message revealing that the real mastermind is a high-ranking official in Darcy's company.
Oh, wow.
This betrayal, from within really raises the stakes. It's not just external criminals anymore.
Right.
It's about corruption at the highest levels.
It's a game changer. This leads to an incredibly risky plan to expose the truth, right?
Yes.
So what desperate measure do they decide to take?
They realize their only option is to break into the company's mainframe.
Oh, wow.
To get the evidence against this official. The story emphasizes the huge risk and Elizabeth's feeling that this is more than just solving a murder. It's a battle for New Pemberley's soul.
So tell us about their infiltration of the mainframe. It sounds like a classic sci-fi scenario.
It is. They have to get past, sophisticated security protocols.
Okay.
Darcy's pushing his his augmentations to the limit.
Right.
They manage to find the evidence that implicates the official. It's this, tense, nail-biting sequence.
Yeah.
It shows the technological prowess on both sides.
Right. But their success is, it's short-lived, right?
Right.
Their presence is detected.
Alarms are blaring. They're compromised. They have to escape before they're caught.
And their escape doesn't go as planned.
No.
Who do they end up confronting?
They end up captured and brought before the governor, who is clearly in league with this corrupt official.
Oh, wow.
He's smug, confident. He thinks he's untouchable.
Right.
Mocking their, attempts to challenge him.
Even in captivity, Darcy doesn't back down.
No, he doesn't.
So what's his defiant response to the governor's, arrogance?
Even facing imprisonment, he maintains that the truth will come out.
Oh.
Justice will prevail.
Right.
It shows his, unwavering moral compass.
Yeah. And Elizabeth, quick thinking, creates an opportunity for them to escape again. How did she pull that off?
She uses a smoke bomb.
Okay.
Creates chaos, confusion.
Yeah.
They slip away in the, in the disarray.
So it's, resourcefulness and bravery under pressure.
Absolutely.
Their escape leads them to a face-to-face with the corrupt official.
Yes.
What's that encounter like?
He's enraged, arrogant, still thinks his power protects him.
Okay.
But Darcy stands firm, tells him his reign is over. It's that classic showdown.
Right.
Good versus corrupt power.
Exactly. And in a crucial moment, Elizabeth takes, decisive action.
Yes. To make sure the truth gets out to everyone on New Pemberley, what does she do?
She uses her communicator to broadcast the evidence.
Okay.
Across the entire station.
Oh, wow.
Exposing the official's corruption to everyone.
So that's what brings him down.
Yes. This single act leads to his downfall and capture.
So how does this futuristic Pride and Prejudice end? What's the aftermath of their actions?
Darcy takes action, reforms his company.
Okay.
Lydia is safe. Their shared experience creates a much deeper, more genuine bond between Elizabeth and Darcy.
Right.
The story ends on a hopeful note. New Pemberley begins to heal, rebuild.
Okay.
Emphasizing that, true humanity, genuine connection. That's what's valuable.
Yeah, it's a brilliant reimagining. Okay, let's shift our science fiction probe to our second story. Space pirates.
Right.
This one takes a legendary character and throws him into this cosmic adventure.
It does.
So tell us about Long John Silver in this new context.
Long John Silver is a legend in the galaxy. Okay.
A space pirate everyone recognizes by his cybernetic leg.
Okay, cool.
He's both feared and revered across the spaceways. A classic anti-hero,
Yeah. The story kicks off on this fringe world called Zephyria.
Right.
So what's the atmosphere like in this, bustling spaceport where Silver and his crew gather?
Zephyria is like, classic rough and tumble frontier space fort.
Okay.
You find all sorts of species there.
Right.
General air of lawlessness. The story specifically mentions this, dimly lit tavern.
Okay.
Where Silver and his crew are gathered around a holographic map, planning their next score.
And what's the potential job that Hawkins, his first mate, brings to Silver's attention?
So Hawkins presents a distress signal.
Okay.
Coming from a planet in the Outer Rim.
Right.
Ruled by this oppressive governor.
Okay.
He proposes, a heist, hinting at valuable resources, riches to be seized.
Silver's, he's a seasoned pirate.
Yeah.
Not want to rush into things. What are his, initial concerns about this opportunity?
Silver is cautious.
Right.
He immediately thinks, could it be a trap?
Okay.
By the Galactic Navy. The story touches on his past, as a Galactic Navy officer.
Okay.
And the betrayal that led him to piracy adds a layer of complexity to his motives.
Right.
And his wariness of authority.
Well, Silver is weighing the potential risks. What's the feeling among the rest of the crew?
Well, the other crew members are, predictably more excited about the potential loot, the thrill of it all.
Right.
They're less concerned about, the strategy and more about the reward.
Right. Ultimately, Silver makes the decision to answer the call.
He does.
What's the the main reason behind his choice?
Despite his reservations about a potential trap, he goes.
Okay.
But he frames it as, more than just getting rich. It's about defying corrupt powers, sending a message. It hints at a moral code, or at least a justification for his actions.
So how does his crew react to this this decision, and what's Silver's mood as the Stellar Raptor, their ship, heads towards the outer rim?
The crew cheers.
Of course.
They're eager for action, but Silver remains, pensive, maybe still thinking about the risks
Okay.
as they journey into the unknown.
Yeah. When they arrive at the governor's planet, the situation is way more dangerous than they thought.
Yeah.
What kind of defenses are they facing?
Heavily fortified stronghold, protected by a fleet of warships,
Okay.
makes a direct attack seem suicidal. It's far more than they anticipated.
Yeah, they sailed right into danger. Hawkins suggests they reconsider.
He does.
But Silver's determined to press on. Why does he insist on staying, and what does he realize they need to do?
Silver refuses to back down.
Okay.
He knows a direct attack is impossible. He insists on staying, figuring out a new approach.
Right.
They'll need stealth, cunning, not brute force.
Okay. So Silver gathers his crew to outline this new, riskier strategy. What's the general approach they decide to take?
The story doesn't give specifics, but it emphasizes covert infiltration,
Okay.
using their wits and Silver's experience in unconventional warfare
Right.
to avoid direct confrontation.
Okay. There's a brief but telling moment before the mission. We see a more personal side of Silver.
Yeah.
What does he do in this quiet moment?
He takes out an old photo from his Navy days
Okay.
and whispers a vow. It suggests, unresolved issues, maybe a deeper motivation,
Right.
a desire for redemption, or, some kind of justification.
Okay. So the infiltration goes pretty smoothly at first, right?
It does.
But then there's a setback. What happens?
They get in disguised as traitors,
Okay.
but encounter resistance.
Right.
In the fight, their mechanic, Lily, is captured. The crew escapes, but, it's a big loss.
Yeah. Hawkins feels responsible for Lily, right?
He does.
So what does he urge Silver to do?
Hawkins is worried for Lily,
Okay.
pleads with Silver not to abandon her, emphasizes her, her importance to the crew, appeals to Silver's loyalty.
Right. And what's Silver's decision about Lily's fate?
Despite the risks, he decides they can't leave her.
Okay.
He's going to rescue her. Shows his loyalty to his crew.
So they spend the next few days, prepping for this rescue mission.
They do.
What's the atmosphere like among the crew?
There's urgency, a focused determination.
Okay.
They understand the danger, but they're united.
Right. So tell us about the night of the rescue. What happens as they try to get Lily back?
The Raptor is cloaked in orbit.
Okay.
Silver and a team infiltrate through tunnels.
Okay.
They fight guards, but Lily's cell is empty. A huge blow to their plans.
And then Hawkins, senses a trap. What happens next?
His instincts are right. The stronghold goes into lockdown. They're surrounded, captured. The rescue failed.
Oh, wow. They're brought before the governor. What's that encounter like, and what does Silver have to say?
The governor is smug,
Right.
He's enjoying their capture. But Silver, even in chains, is defiant. He says they represent the spark of rebellion.
Okay.
That the governor's tyranny won't last.
And the governor's response is swift. What does he order?
He orders their execution.
Oh, wow. It seems like the end. But then on the morning of the execution, things take a turn.
They do.
So what happens as they're paraded through the streets?
The citizens are silent at first, but then they start murmuring.
Okay.
Seeing the pirates' courage, those murmurs turn into a roar of revolt.
Oh, wow. And help comes from a surprising source, right?
Yes.
That steps in to help them.
The governor's aide, a double agent working with the rebels, intervenes. Frees Silver, gives him a blaster.
Wow, what a turn of events. So now armed and free, what do Silver and his crew do as the execution is about to happen?
The execution turns into a full-blown insurrection.
Okay.
They join the rebels, fighting for their lives and freedom.
Wow. But just when it seems like they might when the governor unleashes this secret weapon.
He does.
What is this, unexpected threat?
A powerful alien entity he was controlling. It devastates the rebel forces.
Oh, wow. So Silver realizes they have to